Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Ozcast.
Wow, $1.5 billion. Poof, gone. Just like that. That's what happened in the ByBit hack.
Yeah.
We're gonna deep dive into that today. I know what you might be thinking. Crypto, not really my thing.
Yeah.
But listen, this is about way more than just digital currencies. It's about security. You know, the security of systems, the kind of systems we all rely on.
Absolutely.
Like, how can even like the smartest safeguards have these weird weaknesses? You know?
That's right. And this hack, this ByBit hack, it's a wake-up call about like the threats that are evolving in the digital world, and how we have to, constantly adapt. We have to constantly adapt our security thinking.
Okay, so let's break this thing down for those who aren't familiar.
Sure.
What exactly is ByBit?
ByBit is it's a cryptocurrency exchange.
Okay.
Think of it like a digital marketplace.
Yeah.
Where people can buy and sell.
Yeah.
Trade various cryptocurrencies. It's a popular platform, which, I mean, that makes the hack even more significant.
So how did the hackers pull off such a massive heist? Like, did they break directly into ByBit systems?
Not quite. No, it's they exploited a weakness in how transactions were being approved.
Okay.
We're talking something called blind signing.
Blind signing.
Now, multisig wallets. You've heard of those?
I've heard of those.
They're supposed to, increase security.
Yeah.
By requiring multiple approvals for any transaction. Right.
Like having multiple checks in place.
Exactly. Multiple checks and balances. But in this case, the individuals authorizing transactions on ByBit's multisig wallets, well, they were doing it without full transparency.
Oh.
They weren't seeing the full details of what they were approving.
Okay, so they didn't know what they were approving.
They were essentially, think of it like this, they were signing a blank check.
Yeah.
You're trusting whoever fills in the details, that they'll do so honestly.
That's a scary thought, especially when you're talking about so much money.
Right.
So the hackers tricked the authorized signers into approving these transfers.
Right.
By making them look like normal transactions.
Exactly. Like disguise them as routine transactions, everyday occurrences.
Wow.
And, this isn't even the first time this kind of vulnerability has been exploited.
Really?
Okay.
So even these sophisticated multi-sig wallets, the ones designed for security, have this fatal flaw.
They can.
So what are some of the solutions that are being proposed to address this?
Well, one that's getting a lot of attention is clear signing.
Clear signing, okay.
It's the opposite of blind signing. Basically, anyone who's approving a transaction, they have full visibility into every single detail.
Oh, okay.
Like the sender, the recipient, the amount, everything. No more blank checks.
That seems like a pretty obvious solution. Why isn't everybody already doing that?
Well, implementing clear signing, it's not as simple as it sounds. There are trade-offs. Like, it could make the user experience more, complex.
Ah, okay. I see.
Imagine having to scrutinize every single detail of every single transaction.
Yeah.
It'd really slow things down.
I can see how that would be a problem, especially for exchanges handling a lot of transactions. So it's this balancing act, right?
Yeah.
Between security and user experience.
Exactly. Finding that balance, that's a key challenge in crypto security. Now, another interesting point, Changpeng Zhao, better known as CZ, the co-founder of Binance.
Right.
Other big crypto exchange.
Yeah, massive.
He's been pretty vocal about this.
Wait, wasn't Binance itself criticized for a lack of transparency?
Yeah, they were
in the past.
Yeah.
So has CZ had a change of heart?
Well, it seems like the whole industry is taking transparency more seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe learning from past mistakes. CZ actually praised ByBit's CEO, Ben Zhu, for his openness and his honesty in handling the hack. And he contrasted it with other CEOs.
Yeah.
CEOs of other exchanges, like WazirX, FTX.
Yeah.
In similar situations.
Interesting. So transparency is becoming like its own currency.
It seems that way.
When things go wrong.
Yeah, people are demanding accountability. They want to see that these companies are taking these security breaches seriously.
Okay. So we've got blind signing as the culprit here, and clear signing is a possible solution.
Yeah.
What other reactions and ideas have we seen from this hack?
Well, Ledger, a hardware wallet company,
right?
They've been really pushing for clear signing.
Okay.
They say blind signing was probably a major factor.
Makes sense. I mean, they're in the business of keeping people's crypto safe.
Exactly.
So what other ideas are there?
Another one comes from Fireblocks.
Fireblocks, okay.
A company that builds security infrastructure for the decentralized web.
Oh.
And they're advocating for off-exchange settlement.
Off-exchange settlement. Okay, break that down for me. What is that?
Okay, so basically it's you keep customer assets in accounts that are totally separate from the exchange's funds.
Okay.
Think of it like a firewall between your money and the exchange.
Okay, so if an exchange gets hacked,
right,
like ByBit, the damage is limited because the hackers can't get to those accounts.
Exactly. It minimizes exposure during a security breach. Of course, it's a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But that's the general idea.
So it sounds like there are multiple approaches here, each with its own pros and cons. Now, Fireblocks, are they just advocating for this off-exchange settlement thing?
Well, they also really believe in this technology called MPC.
MPC.
Multi-party computation.
Okay.
As a potential alternative to multisig wallets. It's a bit of a...
Hold on. Can we make sure we're all on the same page about MPC? Sometimes, I feel like we're speaking different languages in the crypto world.
You're right. So imagine your crypto key. Like a pizza.
Pizza.
Got the slices.
Yeah.
And with MPC, each person who needs to authorize a transaction, they only get one slice. So even if one slice gets, compromised, the whole pizza, your funds, they're safe.
Okay. So it's like spreading the risk so that even if one person is compromised, the whole system isn't vulnerable.
Exactly. Makes it harder for hackers, even if they get a hold of part of the key.
So we've got clear signing, we've got off-exchange settlement, we've got this MPC technology. It sounds like there's a whole arms race going on.
There is.
To stay ahead of the hackers.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's constantly evolving.
Yeah. Rapid.
New solutions all the time. This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Every hack, every vulnerability that gets exposed, it pushes the industry to find new, better ways to protect itself.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've talked about some of the technical solutions that are being proposed.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I'm curious, what other maybe less technical ideas are being discussed? What are the big players in the crypto world saying about, how to prevent another ByBit situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, this whole ByBit thing, it's really it's kicked up the conversation.
Yeah.
About regulation in the crypto space.
Okay.
There are a lot more people calling for stricter rules.
Yeah.
To protect investors, prevent these massive losses.
Yeah.
The argument is clearer guidelines, more oversight that'll deter the bad actors, create a more stable environment, more trust.
It makes sense, especially after an event like this. But I've also heard concerns that too much regulation could, stifle innovation.
Right.
Which is what makes crypto so exciting in the first place. It's a tightrope walk, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Finding that sweet spot, protecting users, but also letting innovation flourish. That's a key challenge for regulators. Too much, and you suffocate the industry. Too little, and you're asking for more of these security breaches.
So what might these new regulations look like? What areas are they going to focus on?
Well, one area that's probably going to get a lot of attention is KYC and AML.
KYC.
Know your customer.
Right.
Anti-money laundering.
Okay.
This is standard practice in traditional finance. And regulators are pushing for it in crypto too, making sure exchanges verify, their users' identities and keep track of transactions to prevent money laundering and other illicit activities.
So basically bringing crypto more in line with traditional financial regulations.
Yeah, in terms of transparency and accountability.
Right.
We might also see stricter requirements for security audits and insurance for these exchanges. Regulators want to see robust systems in place to protect funds and adequate reserves to cover losses It's all about safeguards to minimize the impact, even if you can't totally prevent the hacks.
It sounds like a lot of these regulations are focused on the exchanges themselves.
Yeah.
But what about DeFi?
Ah, yes. Decentralized finance.
It seems like that's a whole other beast when it comes to regulation.
Yeah. DeFi is it's a challenge for regulators.
Yeah.
It's decentralized by nature. So it's harder to, pinpoint responsibility and enforce those traditional frameworks.
Yeah.
It's like trying to regulate a swarm of bees. There's no central authority to target.
So how do you regulate something that's designed to operate outside of regulations?
It's a conundrum. Some regulators, they think DeFi can be brought within existing frameworks.
Okay.
By targeting key points.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast. Ozcast. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Of access or service providers. Right. Others think we need entirely new approaches tailored to decentralized systems.
So the future of DeFi regulation is still up in the air.
Yeah, it's an open question. And the ByBit hack, this will probably make those discussions happen faster, push regulators to make some decisions. The takeaway is regulation is coming.
Yeah.
In some form. The question is, what's it going to look like? How will it affect the industry?
It's like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah. And
this hack has forced us to pick a direction, stricter regulations, more security, more stability.
Right.
But maybe at the cost of some of crypto's core principles, decentralization, individual autonomy, or maybe we try to stick to those principles, but still address security.
It's a great way to frame it. It's complicated, no easy answers. But one thing's for sure, the decisions that are made, in the next few months, the next few years, they'll have a huge impact on this whole technology. And those decisions will be shaped by things like the ByBit hack.
Okay, so we've covered the regulatory side of things, but what about the security side? What are developers doing to address these vulnerabilities, to prevent future attacks? We talked about clear signing, MPC. What else is out there?
One trend that's gaining some traction is formal verification.
Formal verification
of smart contracts.
Okay.
Using mathematical proofs to ensure that the code underlying these contracts, it's secure, no vulnerabilities.
So it's like a team of mathematicians double-checking the code.
Exactly. More rigor, more certainty in the development process.
Okay.
We're also seeing more interest in decentralized insurance protocols.
Decentralized insurance. Okay. What's that?
So these platforms, they let users pool their money.
Uh-huh.
And basically they insure each other against losses from hacks or other breaches.
So it's like a community-based insurance system.
Yeah. Exactly. For the crypto world, it leverages decentralization, creates a safety net for users. Instead of, relying on a central authority like a traditional insurance company, it relies on the community.
Sounds like there's a lot of exciting innovation and security driven by this back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Between the hackers and the developers.
Definitely.
So aside from all the technical solutions and the regulatory changes, what should our listener, the average person who's interested in crypto but maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this, what should they be thinking about?
I think it's important to remember that the crypto space, it's still young.
Yeah.
It's evolving really fast. There's a lot of uncertainty. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that's part of what makes it exciting.
Right.
But it does mean things can change quickly. So it's important to stay informed and be adaptable.
So what's your advice for someone who's just starting out in crypto? What are the key things to keep in mind?
The first thing, do your research. Understand the technology, the risks, the potential rewards. Don't just jump in blindly, because everyone else is.
Right. Don't FOMO.
Exactly.
Fear of missing out.
And start small. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. It's a volatile market, always risks. Like any investment, be comfortable with the level of risk you're taking.
And what about security? Any basic tips people can follow to protect themselves?
Take security seriously. Strong passwords, two-factor authentication, maybe a hardware wallet to keep your most valuable stuff offline.
These are tips we've all heard before, but they're easy to forget.
Yeah, it's like remembering to wear your seatbelt. It's a small thing, but it can make a big difference.
Makes sense. So it's about building good habits, make security a routine, not something you only think about when something goes wrong.
Exactly. And
so be informed, be cautious, take responsibility for your own security in this crazy new world.
Exactly. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
Okay, great advice. I feel like we've covered a lot. What stands out to you as the most important takeaway?
The resilience of the crypto community.
Oh.
Despite, setbacks like this ByBit hack, there's this spirit of innovation, this collaboration, and that gives me hope for the future of this whole thing.
That's a good point. Every challenge brings the community together to find solutions, build a stronger system. Before we wrap up, can you leave our listener with something to think about?
Okay, how about this? As these crypto hacks get more sophisticated, how is that going to influence the development of security solutions? Will we see a shift toward more decentralized, community-driven approaches? Or will there be more reliance on centralized institutions and regulations? It's a tough question, but it's worth thinking about as we navigate this whole evolving landscape.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the ByBit hack.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot, from like the technical details of the hack itself to the possible solutions and the whole changing landscape of crypto security and regulation.
It's been a really it's been a fascinating discussion.
Yeah.
This ByBit thing, it's really highlighted some key challenges and opportunities facing the crypto world.
Yeah.
And it's started these really important conversations about how we can build a more secure system.
We've talked a lot about the technology, the regulations, the industry's response, but I kind of want to shift gears a little. Talk about the human element. I mean, after all, technology is just a tool, right?
Right.
And it's really the impact of technology is shaped by how people use it, how they react to it, how they adapt.
Yeah, you can't forget about that. The human factor. At the end of the day, it's people who are making the decisions about security, about investments, about how they're going to engage with this technology.
So thinking about that, how do you think this hack, this whole ByBit thing, how do you think it'll impact user behavior? Do you think people are going to be more cautious about crypto, or will it just be like a blip?
It's tough to say for sure. I mean, things like this, events like this, they can definitely erode trust.
Yeah.
And trust is essential in any financial system.
Yeah.
Especially one like crypto, built on these decentralized networks, digital assets. People need to feel confident that their money is safe, that the platforms are taking security seriously.
Yeah. It's like anything new, right? When something's unfamiliar, there's a learning curve, and there are going to be bumps along the way. Like, remember when online banking first became a thing?
Yeah.
A lot of people were like really hesitant to trust it with their money, and now everybody uses it.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Crypto is still pretty new. It's going through these growing pains.
Yeah.
And it's natural for people to be a little cautious, especially when they hear about these big hacks. But we got to remember, every new technology faces these kinds of things, challenges, and it's how we respond to them that determines whether it's going to be successful.
So do you think this ByBit hack, will it have a lasting impact? Will it slow down adoption, or will the industry just kind of bounce back?
I mean, crypto has shown it's pretty resilient.
Yeah.
Weathered a lot of storms, setbacks. I think this time won't be different. What matters is that the industry learns from this, strengthens its security, and keeps building that trust with users.
So for the average person out there, the person who's interested in crypto but maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all this talk of hacks and security breaches and these like complex technical solutions, what advice do you have for them?
First of all, don't panic. This hack was big, but it doesn't mean that the whole crypto world is falling apart.
Right.
It's a setback, but it's not the end. The industry is they're already working on this, addressing the vulnerabilities. I think we'll see even better security coming out of this.
That's good to hear. What else?
Stay informed. Keep learning about the tech, the risks, the best ways to stay safe. Knowledge is your best weapon in this constantly changing landscape.
So be proactive. Take responsibility for your own security. Don't just expect other people to protect you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're not sure about something, reach out to the experts. Join online communities. Get involved in the conversation. The crypto world is full of really passionate people who know their stuff, and they're willing to help.
That really speaks to the strength of the community, doesn't it?
It does.
Even when things go wrong, like with this ByBit hack, there's this collaboration, this willingness to like help each other through these challenges.
Exactly, and that's what gives me hope for the future of crypto. It's not just about the tech; it's about the people, the ideas, the vision for a better future.
Okay, so we're wrapping up. What's the one big takeaway you want our listener to remember?
The crypto world is changing fast. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, there will be risks, but there will also be incredible opportunities for innovation, for growth, for positive change.
Right.
It's about embracing the uncertainty, being ready for the risks, and staying involved in the conversation about where this technology is going.
Well said. The future of crypto is it's being written right now, and we all have a role to play.
We do.
In shaping it. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been really interesting.
Yeah.
And to our listener, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep engaging with this crypto world. The future is full of possibilities.
It is.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.